Would you like to have my seat?
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
1, 2, 3, 4, 20. Here I come.
Even small moments in nature can connect us all. A day at the park connects us to friends.
Pass it to me.
To family.
I'm ready.
And to ourselves.
Hear that? Exactly.
Every moment spent outside is a chance to connect to nature. Celebrate Earth at your favorite park. Actions big or small can help protect the planet, and your local park is a great place to get started. Find out more about how you can take action at nrpa.org.
Breaking news in America this morning. President Trump's royal visit today, not without controversy. What he said overnight about a top British politician. Plus, he's confronted about calling Meghan Markle nasty. The protest planned as Queen Elizabeth, Prince Charles, and Prince Harry welcome him to London.
New questions about the mass shooting in Virginia Beach.
Shots fired, second floor. Going up the steps.
What police say the gunman did just before the carnage as we learn about the hero office worker who laid down his life to save his colleagues.
Bishop backlash, a Catholic church official under fire. Why he said Catholics should not support gay pride events and how he and his supporters are defending his statement.
The massive cruise ship crash caught on camera. The push for new restrictions this morning.
A new shark attack on the East Coast. This time, the victim is a teenager.
And beware of the rattlesnake.
Don't move. There's a rattlesnake right next to you.
One sleeping couple gets quite a wake-up call.
From ABC News in New York, this is America This Morning.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Janae Norman.
And I'm Will Reeve in for Kenneth Moten. We begin with President Trump kicking off a state visit to the UK this morning, getting the royal treatment while bracing for days of angry protests.
Even before touching down on British soil, the president fired off a string of explosive remarks, offering unsolicited advice on British politics and calling Duchess Meghan Markle nasty. ABC's Julia McFarlane begins our live coverage in London. Julia, good morning.
Morning, Janae. Morning. Well, President Trump is arriving shortly into central London ahead of a three-day state visit to the UK. It's America's third state visit, but the Queen's 113th that she's hosted. This morning, Donald Trump will be the third American president to attend a state visit to the United Kingdom. Historic allies for centuries, but this top-tier ceremonial event is one only Presidents George W. Bush and Obama have made before. It's a lavish affair the president wants his whole family to take part, bringing all of his children. The three-day visit starts with a full ceremonial welcome from the British royal family, Her Majesty the Queen, the future King Prince Charles and Duchess Camilla. The president will inspect the Guard of Honor, decked in full British military regalia, before those iconic royal gun salutes fired to mark the occasion. The Queen will then take the Trumps for a private lunch at the palace. Next will be a tour of Westminster Abbey, before the President and First Lady have tea with Prince Charles and Camilla at their home in Clarence House. All this ahead of a sumptuous banquet Monday night. Both the Queen and the President to make speeches at the dinner, attended by politicians, diplomats and prominent American businessmen and expats. But one notable absentee, Duchess Meghan, still on maternity leave in Windsor. President Trump stirring controversy with his comments to the Sun newspaper, responding to criticisms Meghan made about him in 2016, describing them as nasty.
No, I didn't know that she was nasty.
Trump's campaign says the comments have been taken out of context.
No, I made no bad comment.
Now, Meghan will not be attending any of today's royal events, although her husband, Prince Harry, will be. But then there's further awkwardness after Trump weighed in on domestic politics, giving his opinion on who he thinks should be Britain's next prime minister. But both sides at pains to smooth over the edges and promote that enduring special relationship. Julia McFarlane, ABC News, outside Buckingham Palace.
Julia, as the president is on his way there, not only calling the Duchess' remarks nasty, but he also lashed out at the mayor of London, even mocking his height. Julia.
Janae, this whole three-day extravaganza is painstakingly choreographed, but of course you've got to throw in President Trump's unpredictability, right? So, Sadiq Khan, mayor of London, he referred to President Trump in the last few days as a, quote, 20th century fascist, to which the president responded, I don't think much of him. He's like a twin of de Blasio, except shorter.
Julia McFarland, thank you. We turn now to the aftermath of the deadly mass shooting in Virginia Beach. Officials there say they want to focus on the 12 victims of the attack instead of on the gunman.
One of those victims is Ryan Keith Cox. His colleagues say Cox told them to hide inside an office and barricade the door while he went out to try to help others. Cox was among those who were honored at a vigil last night in Virginia Beach. ABC's Serena Marshall joins us now with new details on the investigation. Serena, good morning.
Janae, Will, good morning. From the time those first shots were fired to 4 brave police officers taking down the shooter, it was 36 minutes of terror. Now friends and families remember the lives taken.
12 lives lost, 12 victims remembered. Hundreds of people gathering to remember the 7 men, 5 women murdered at their work by their longtime colleague.
They leave a void that we will never be able to fill.
Candace Rauch trying to make sense of the loss of her friend, Lakita Brown, who had worked for the city for 4.5 years.
Knowing that when I go there that I won't run into her anymore, that's going to be the hardest part.
At the building, a memorial stands as we learn new details about the timeline. Officers arriving just 2 minutes after the first 911 call, but navigating through a maze of hallways in what's described as a honeycomb-type building. 10 minutes later, they find and engage the suspect, later identified as city employee Dwayne Craddock.
Still actively hearing gunshots.
A prolonged gunfight ensues, the suspect carrying 2 handguns, extended magazines, and a silencer.
Officer hit! Officer hit!
36 minutes after that first call, officers busting through a door, taking him down. He later died at the hospital.
Right now, we do not have anything glaring.
They are still searching for a motive. The 15-year city employee handing in his resignation just hours prior. Colleagues searching for answers.
He briefly made eye contact with me, but did not point the gun at me.
The FBI has now taken the lead in the investigation, and authorities say they are still in the evidence-gathering phase, but 4 victims remain hospitalized in critical condition. Janae, Will.
Still so many questions. Serena Marshall, thank you.
Iran's foreign minister is accusing the United States of economic terrorism, saying the sanctions imposed by the Trump administration are targeting ordinary people. Iran is not backing down despite the economic decline 1 year after President Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the so-called maximum pressure policy will be in place until Iran changes its behavior. But the foreign minister told ABC's Martha Raddatz Iran will not be forced into talks, and he denied allegations that Iran attacked oil tankers in the Gulf.
And if they show some sort of intelligence about the sabotage of those tankers,
let them do it.
Would you not believe that?
Let them do it. I mean, Photoshop is always a possibility.
The foreign minister said President Trump's tactics may work in a real estate market, but won't work with Iran.
Time now for a look at your weather for this Monday morning. Historic floods are causing more problems in the central U.S. This levee breached northwest of St. Louis Sunday, forcing evacuations in the town of Winfield. Homes are underwater in North Little Rock, Arkansas. As the Arkansas River spills into neighborhoods, water is up to the roofs in some area. Meanwhile, in the east, this wild hailstorm battered parts of Virginia Sunday with some property damage reported. Looking at today's high temperatures, near 70 in New York and Boston, 80 in Minneapolis, mostly 60s in Southern California. Coming up, should red light cameras be illegal? One state takes a stand.
But first, the demand for new rules after this massive cruise ship crash, all caught on camera.
Plus, the end of the road for iTunes, a new plan from Apple.
And later, the best French fries in all of America, according to a new survey.
A mother suffers a devastating stroke. Now her daughters are feuding over her care.
Tragedy is tearing this family apart.
Making her breakfast, making her lunch, making her dinner.
Complaining about it all the time.
So what if I complain about it? I have a right to complain about it.
Who will face the truth?
All I've literally heard is I do not regret that.
Then, can the truth team find her match?
Ready to play a little dating game?
It's time to face the truth.
Face the Truth, Monday at 2 on KITV4 Island Television. Looking for better family health, wellness, and savings? HawaiiSavingsClub.com offers daily deals on Johnson & Johnson products. Don't get stuck paying full price and don't get stuck in traffic. Visit KITV.com before you get on the road.
Inside the Children of God sex cult,
people are manipulated and they are punished if they question a philosophy.
famous members Joaquin Phoenix and Rose McGowan grew up in it.
This cult has been described as hell.
How hard is it to get out?
Why don't they leave? Because their loyalty is to the tribe.
Plus, a cold case murder that's closer to finally being solved.
These details are shockingly specific.
All New Oz.
Dr. Oz, Monday at 3 on KITV.
From cures for split ends to inflatable friends,
I'm taking this home.
it's all on the next Ellen with Mindy Kaling, Matt Bomer, and
Who doesn't love a dad bod? This could be really fun.
everything you need this summer.
Every once in a while, it rains in the summer. How are you guys? You said it's raining.
Ellen, weekdays on KITV.
You know, you don't need to wait on the sun to say good morning, Hawaii.
Lots of people are up before dawn, and we are too.
Join Good Morning Hawaii weekdays at 4:30 in the morning to get an early start on everything you need for your day.
This morning, NBA Finals tickets will be given away on GMA. And just wait till you see who's getting them. And Christina Aguilera has something to share with you this morning on GMA.
We're back with this dramatic video. You see people running there as this 900-foot cruise ship slammed into a tourist boat in Venice, Italy. 5 women were injured trying to get out of the way. Officials say the bigger ship lost control when one of the steel cables attaching it to a tugboat snapped. The crash has renewed calls for restrictions or even a ban on cruise ships in Venice. And this comes after just last week in Budapest, 7 people died when a cruise ship crashed into a smaller sightseeing boat. 21 others are still missing.
Talks are getting underway in Washington today with top U.S. and Mexican officials after President Trump threatened to hit Mexico with a 5% tariff. The White House says the president is, quote, deadly serious about imposing the tariff on all Mexican imports and gradually raising it to as much as 25% if Mexico doesn't stop migrants from crossing into the United States. Meanwhile, new trouble in the trade war with China. Beijing issuing a statement claiming the U.S. has been, quote, unreliable during talks.
A Catholic bishop in Rhode Island is defending his statements about gay pride events being held this month. Bishop Thomas Tobin tweeted that Catholics should not support gay pride activities because they promote a, quote, a culture that is, quote, contrary to Catholic morals and are, quote, especially harmful for children. Critics held a local rally last night as the backlash spread on social media. In response, the bishop said, I understand why a good number of individuals have taken offense. I also appreciate the widespread support I've received. My obligation is to teach the faith clearly and compassionately. And he added, God loves everyone.
Texas has taken a stand against controversial red light cameras. The governor there signing a bill that bans them. Critics have argued that red light cameras are unconstitutional, that they violate the driver's due process rights, and supporters argue the cameras make the roads safer and they generate cash for cities and towns.
Google is blaming network congestion for an outage that affected its platform for hours on Sunday. You may have noticed YouTube, Gmail, Snapchat, and other services on the East Coast were affected for about 4 hours. Google promised improvements will prevent similar outages in the future.
And after 18 years, Apple expected to shut down iTunes. The company expected to replace it with a standalone music, TV, and podcast apps in the next version of its operating system. This coming as Apple tries to rebrand itself as an entertainment service.
Something to look forward to. Coming up, the bees that attacked home plate during delaying a Major League game.
Yeah, but first, new details about a shark attack on the East Coast and the teenage victim.
And up next, the mystery surrounding a missing mother of 5 from Connecticut. What we're learning about her estranged husband and his girlfriend, now under arrest.
Some see trails as only muddy paths, steep climbs, and rough terrain. But we see things differently. There are trails to blaze everywhere. On asphalt, stone, brick, from Rubicon Trail to Brooklyn Bridge Trail to Michigan Avenue Trail. Because if it's on Earth, it's a trail. And wherever yours leads, the redesigned 2019 Jeep Cherokee will take you there.
It's like a Friday night where you made plans, but you and your BFF change into sweats and finish the whole series instead. New Too Good Greek low-fat yogurt, slow strained down to 2 grams of sugar, because sometimes you just gotta do good by you.
Wolves, the wild ancestors of your dog. They share many traits like a love for meat. So grain-free Blue Wilderness is made with more of the meat they desire. Try Blue Wilderness because he's wild inside.
I wanted more from my COPD medicine. That's why I've got the power of 1, 2, 3 medicines from Trelegy. The only FDA-approved 3-in-1 COPD treatment.
Trelegy, the power of 1, 2, 3. Trelegy, 1, 2, 3. Trelegy.
With Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3, I'm breathing better. Trelegy works 3 ways: to open airways, keep them open, and reduce inflammation for 24 hours of better breathing.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Trelegy is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Think your COPD medicine is doing enough? Maybe you should think again. Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3.
Trelegy, 1, 2, 3.
Save at Trelegy.com.
We're back with a community coming together for a mother of 5 who's been missing for more than a week.
Hundreds packing a Connecticut church to pray for Jennifer Dulos. The vigil coming less than 24 hours after authorities arrested her estranged husband and his girlfriend.
Both are due in court this morning as investigators begin another day of searching. This morning, a show of unity and support for a missing mother of 5 in Connecticut. Hundreds filled a church in New Canaan to light candles and pray for Jennifer Dulos.
New Canaan is a small community, and everybody is a friend of one or two friends away from knowing somebody in the family.
The 50-year-old was last seen more than a week ago dropping her kids off at school. That evening, her Chevy Suburban was found abandoned outside a local park. Authorities used drones, helicopters, and canines to search the park, storm drains, and dumpsters with no sign of Dulos. On Saturday, police arrested her estranged husband and his girlfriend after video obtained by DailyMail.com showed authorities speaking with the couple at his home. Fotis Dulos and Michelle Traconis are charged with evidence tampering and hindering the prosecution. According to the Hartford Courant, after traces of blood were reportedly found inside Jennifer's home, Fotis and Traconis complied with a search warrant ordered for their DNA and hair samples.
We're all incredibly concerned, but we are very hopeful that Jennifer will come back to us safe and sound.
Jennifer and Fotis were in the midst of a heated divorce and custody battle. In court filings, Jennifer wrote, "I am afraid of my husband. I know that filing for divorce will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way." Fotis fiercely denied those claims. And the most recent search for Dulos focused on a mansion built by her estranged husband's company. Authorities say more charges in this case are expected, but they wouldn't elaborate.
Some shocking new details this morning about a teenage girl attacked by a shark. It happened in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Officials say one of the 17-year-old's legs was nearly bitten off in the attack. She also suffered deep cuts to her hands and pelvis. She was flown to a trauma center by helicopter.
The whistles were blown, everyone was screaming, and they quickly got everybody out of the water.
On any given day, the ocean can be a dangerous atmosphere. It always can be a dangerous environment.
The teen is said to be in good condition.
In medical news, a new study finds a link between e-cigarettes and the mental health of teenagers. Researchers found that teens going through, quote, emotional distress are nearly 6 times more likely to begin using e-cigarettes and tobacco products compared to other teens. Smoking among teenagers has been on the rise. The CDC says 27% of high school students use e-cigarettes and other tobacco products.
And in sports, the NBA Finals are heading back to the U.S., tied up at 1 game apiece. Golden State using an 18-0 run in the third quarter to grab the lead, then holding on to beat Toronto 109-104. The series heading back to Oakland for games 3 and 4 starting Wednesday night. One American guest got some love from the Canadian fans last night. That'd be former President Barack Obama. He got a standing O.
And in baseball news, bees interrupted a Major League game for the second time this season, this time in San Diego. A swarm took over an area near the Padres dugout. Beekeeper had to be called in. That game was delayed for about 28 minutes.
And for another buzzy story, up next in the Pulse, the best French fries in America.
Also ahead, a major piece of Sopranos history up for sale, but as you can imagine, it's not cheap.
And caught on camera, the officer who saves 2 people just inches away from a rattlesnake. You got to see this.
Corey is living with metastatic breast cancer, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of her body. She's also taking Ibrance with an aromatase inhibitor, which is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ibrance plus letrozole was significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus letrozole. Patients taking Ibrance can develop low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infections that can lead to death. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite. Corey calls it her new normal, because a lot has changed, but a lot hasn't. Ask your doctor about Ibrance, the #1 prescribed FDA-approved oral combination treatment for HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC.
At Pure Leaf, real tea leaves meet real brewing expertise. We blend the finest tea leaves and brew them at a lower temperature for a smooth, delicious, real brewed iced tea. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Our thing is tea.
Imagine if we ever got to meet. We would be such good friends. Best friends.
Advantage 2. Kills fleas through contact all month long.
I mean, he's a wreck without me.
Advantage 2. Fight the misery of biting fleas.
Discover delicious Dunkin' Donuts cold brew coffee packs. Premium craft coffee as easy as 1, 2, 3. Available where you buy groceries.
This morning, NBA Finals tickets will be given away on GMA. And just wait till you see who's getting them. And Christina Aguilera has something to share with you this morning on GMA.
So it's time to check the pulse. And if you think your wake-up call with an alarm is bad, how about for this Tennessee couple? We're not sure why they fell asleep on a road, but they woke up pretty quickly.
Yeah, so a sheriff's deputy drove up, saw a rattlesnake right next to this couple, and he calmly approached them, and he warned them.
Don't move. There's a rattlesnake right next to you. Go toward me. Go toward me.
Well, I can't repeat what I said, but it's kind of a shocking event. I mean, you think you see everything in this profession, and then you see something like that.
So the sheriff there said the couple didn't exactly follow the deputy's instructions, but things turned out okay.
Yeah, they didn't roll towards them, but they got up real quick.
I mean, as long as they're all right.
Yeah.
And North Carolina is looking for a Powerball winner. I'm looking for a new relative.
The only winning ticket in Saturday's $344 million drawing was sold outside Fayetteville. You hear that song, I Want to Be Rich. More than $220 million is waiting for the winner if they take the lump sum payment. This is North Carolina's largest single ticket jackpot ever. Oh, and by the way, you've got a chance. Tomorrow there's another jumbo jackpot available. Mega Millions stands at $475 million. You can't win if you don't play. How about that? Well, next, a story for house hunters and would-be crime bosses.
Yeah, if you win the lottery, you can go to New Jersey and buy the house that Tony Soprano called home because it's for sale. Fans of The Sopranos should be familiar with the house. It was featured weekly in the show's iconic open, and the listing price, $3.4 million. The current owners have lived there for more than 30 years. They say it's time to downsize.
And yes, the pool where Tony fed ducks and smoked cigars is there. The house was used for multiple scenes during the early seasons. In later seasons, they used a replica. And if you win that jackpot, this is chump change.
Yeah, you could buy a whole bunch of those. I won't do that because that's not my thing. Finally, who has the best French fries in America? Well, the new taste test is out.
BusinessInsider.com looked at the top fast food chains and ranked the fries based on flavor, mouthfeel, and crispness. They found Shake Shack's crinkle cut fries were best by far, followed by Arby's, then Burger King.
And McDonald's fries criticized, bland, sometimes mushy and dry. Let us know what you think, though, on Facebook.
I'm working to keep the fire going for another 150 years.
To inspire confidence through style.
I'm working to make connections of a different kind.
I'm working for beauty that begins with nature.
To treat every car like I treat mine.
At ADP, we're designing a better way to work so you can achieve what you're working for.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy Claritin and relief from symptoms caused by over 200 indoor and outdoor allergens, like those from Buddy. Live Claritin Clear. For 1 week only, save up to $14 on select Claritin products. Check the Sunday's newspaper for details.
Dixie Ultra's FlexProof technology makes it twice as strong as the leading store brand. That's strength you can count on.
I'm just a normal person who got an awful skin condition.
With uncontrolled moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, you feel like you're itching all the time. And you never know how your skin will look. Because deep within your skin, an overly sensitive immune system could be the cause. So help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is not a steroid, and it continuously treats your eczema even when you can't see it. At 16 weeks, nearly 4 times more patients taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin compared to those not taking it, and patients saw a significant reduction in itch. Do not use if you are allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, a severe reaction. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems, including eye pain or changes in vision. If you are taking asthma medicines, do not change or stop your asthma medicine without talking to your doctor. Help heal your skin from within. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Checking our top stories, President Trump's state visit to the UK is getting underway this morning, marked by pageantry, protest, and controversy. He's meeting with the Queen and other royal family members after calling Duchess Meghan Markle nasty. He also weighed in on Brexit and his choice for Prime Minister.
And hundreds attended a vigil last night to honor the 12 victims of Friday's shooting attack in Virginia Beach. Authorities say they are still searching for the gunman's motive. They say he resigned from his job before the shooting and was not fired.
The search resumes today for 8 climbers, including 2 Americans missing in the Himalayas. They were trying to scale India's second highest mountain, but hopes are fading because of extreme weather.
A stunning admission from Boeing concerning more problems with its troubled 737 MAX jets. The company says a part on the wings of nearly 150 planes may have been manufactured incorrectly. More than 300 planes are affected worldwide.
And looking at today's weather, mostly sunny in the northeast, thunderstorms in the plains, severe thunderstorms in parts of Texas and Oklahoma, stormy from California to the Rockies. And finally from us this Monday, the big surprise for students at Stoneman Douglas High School in South Florida.
It's been more than a year since that mass shooting at the school there, and this year's seniors were preparing to get diplomas when the principal shocked everyone by calling someone special to the podium.
Mr. Dwayne Wade.
A graduating class in Florida ecstatic.
What's up?
Former NBA star Dwayne Wade making a surprise appearance at the graduation ceremony at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, the scene of last year's campus shooting that ended in the deaths of 14 students and 3 staff members.
I grew up in the inner city of Chicago, and I've experienced a lot of awful things. But I've never experienced anything to the magnitude that you guys have just experienced.
Wade visited the school when it first reopened after the deadly shooting. He began his speech by reminiscing about that visit.
I remember being met by one of the staffers. I remember us walking to the school, and I remember hearing absolutely nothing. I remember thinking to myself, I've never felt, or I've never heard this kind of silence before in my life.
Wade called himself part of the school's family and ended his speech with these words.
Nothing's difficult through adversity. To the last man, to the last minute, to the last second. We fight! We fight! We fight! Let's go! Thank you guys. MSD strong.
Dwayne Wade, bigger than basketball.
That was a good one. That is what's making news in America this morning.
Meteorologist Pete Caggiano, weeknights on KITV4 Island News. Now, from KITV4 Island News, this is Good Morning Hawaii.
Coming up on Good Morning Hawaii, less than 48 hours after a swimmer went missing off the coast of Kailua, a body was found matching his description. We'll have the latest on how he was spotted and why this can be a warning for swimmers. And the mystery continues into the case of a missing mother of 5 in Connecticut. She still hasn't been seen in weeks, but now some new leads have led to 2 arrests. Good morning, Hawaii. Thanks for waking up with us on this Monday morning at 4:30, bright and early. I'm Tom George. Maleko has the morning off. But before we get to your top story, we want to head on over to weather and traffic. Good morning, Tasia. Happy Monday.
Good morning, Tom, and happy Monday to you too. Good morning, Hawaii. We are taking a look at pretty calm conditions this morning, especially in our Honolulu area. We did have some very cooling conditions just overnight. Temperatures at the moment in the upper 70s. Today, continuing to be pretty comfortable, and our humidity levels will actually lower even more so than what we're seeing this morning, which is actually very comfortable conditions. Still holding on to our trade winds coming in from the east-northeast at 14 miles per hour. Today, 10 to 20 miles per hour. That's the conditions for our wind speeds. 16 for Lihue at the moment, 12 for Kaneohe, as well as Molokai, and calmer conditions for the eastern half of the state. We still have that small craft advisory in effect as well from Maui County throughout our Hawaii Island. Temperatures elsewhere, 73 for Kapolei, 66 for Lanai City, 69 for Hilo, Hawaii. Temperature highs today in the upper 70s and upper 80s. We'll continue to see our satellite with our trade showers. Riding along those trade winds, focus over your windward and Mauka areas. Today, partly cloudy conditions. Not expected to see a lot of rain, but a lot of rain is on the way for the middle of the week. We'll have more on that throughout today. But taking a look at isolated showers coming in for the eastern half of our Hawaii Island, that will continue on and off throughout your Monday. Now, here's a look at your traffic. No major accidents or stalls, but in Makaha, we do have roving lane closures on Farrington Highway today. This is for both directions between Alahema Street and Makaha Valley Road. That begins today all the way throughout your Aloha Friday from 8:30 to 3 o'clock. So from Hakimo Road through Keeley Drive, that will continue for the next couple of weeks. So we'll continue to monitor that. Out of Eva Beach, looking clear. We had a few passing showers this morning, actually cleared up quite nicely. Not affecting your drive times. Eva Beach through town, 28 minutes. Tom, over to you.
All right, thanks, Tasia. Well, we begin with a story we brought to you first here on Good Morning Hawaii. Human remains matching the description of a swimmer who went missing Friday night were found on a Kailua shore yesterday. At about 5:30 in the morning, someone saw a body had washed up along the coast and they called 911. According to a spokesperson on scene, the body fits the description of that man who went missing off Kalama Beach. Now, he was swimming with 2 women when witnesses say they got carried away by a rip current. The women were later rescued by bystanders investigators, but that man disappeared into the ocean. Now here's a map there of Kailua Bay, just to give you an idea of where that swimmer went missing and where those remains were found. Friday's call came in from Kalama Beach, which is just about a mile north of Kailua Beach Park, and those remains were found on the shoreline in front of a residential area on the far east end of the bay, closer to the Marine Corps base, which is about a mile north of where he went missing. Now, KITV spoke to swimmers in that area who say they were surprised by this news, since some consider Kailua Bay to be a safe place to swim without much of a current at all.
It's not a dangerous place to swim, especially Kalama Beach Park. That has some waves on the shore, but like it's not a strong current.
Many times I come down here to swim and I think, oh, I'm going to swim out, but my intuition's like, stay closer.
Now, ocean safety experts recommend beachgoers know their limits and to stick to beaches with lifeguards if you aren't a strong swimmer. Well, we now turn to Connecticut, where police now have a lead in the case of that missing mother of 5. New Canaan authorities arrested 2 people over the weekend, and both of them are scheduled to appear in court today. John Lorink has the very latest.
A Connecticut community in mourning, holding a vigil for Jennifer Doulos' family. She was last seen on May 24th.
We're heartbroken. And yet we stand together to support the children and support the family they're with and to support our community.
Doulos' estranged husband Fotis and 44-year-old Michelle Troconis were arrested on Saturday. They're charged with hindering prosecution and tampering with or fabricating physical evidence. They have not been charged in Jennifer Doulos' disappearance.
Everyone's trying to come up with a theory.
The 50-year-old Doulos filed for divorce from Fotis Doulos in 2017. A hearing on their divorce case is scheduled for Wednesday. In court documents from 2017 obtained by local media, Doulos said, "I am afraid of my husband. I know that filing for divorce and filing this motion will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way."
We are just hoping fervently for her safe return.
A spokeswoman for Jennifer Doulos' family says the public response and support they've received is much appreciated and that her 5 children are well cared for. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And back here at home, the Honolulu medical examiner is identifying the man killed in a Saturday car crash as 41-year-old Neil Tamayo. Police say Tamayo crashed his car on Kamehameha Highway in Haleiwa and was outside of the vehicle when it was hit by another car. He was taken to the hospital, where he later died. We're still ahead on Good Morning Hawaii Early Edition. President Trump getting the royal treatment during an official visit to Great Britain. Why this all comes at a turbulent time for both of our countries.
Little Village Noodle House, awarded Hawaii's best Chinese food for the past 13 years in a row. Stop by our convenient Chinatown location for fast casual lunch or dinner with free parking. Little Village Noodle House features delectable, fresh, and healthy northern-style Chinese cuisine. Want it to go? Then try our new app for takeout service. You can bring it home or to the office. It's the fast way to fresh and healthy food. Little Village Noodle House, Hawaii's best Chinese food.
Hey, honey, my food's stuck.
Uh-oh, found something? You should have called Environ Control. For everyone you see, there are many more you don't. Environ Control has the solution to take back your home. Click or call to schedule a free estimate today.
We always wanted to move into our own home.
It took us a couple of years finding some place that was perfect for us. And we were just like, okay, how can we afford something like that?
Angela helped us understand the process bit by bit, treated us like family. That relationship was more than a financial transaction. That was the difference between the other places and Hawaii State Federal Credit Union. Oh my goodness! This is our superhero.
Got a chip or star crack in your windshield and it's safety check time? Repair your windshield before you go. Your chip repair may even be free, depending on your insurance. Book now. Free quote at aceautoglass.net or call us.
In a world where every path is unique, we believe the best in digital infrastructure can transform healthcare in places like Cleveland and Honolulu. Dazzle spectators on Broadway and the silver screens of LA. A simple belief that every fiber-lit building fuels the industry in all of us. Let's turn the promise of technology into digital progress together.
Spectrum Enterprise.
Spectrum Enterprise. Join us as we turn the promise of technology into digital progress together.
It's shaping up to be a beautiful Monday morning. Taking a look at your surf forecast for today. Very calm conditions for your north and west facing shores, flat to 2 feet today. East shores are continuing to rise just a bit, 3 to 6, and south 1 to 3. With our trade winds today, 10 to 20, some areas possibly up to 25. Very choppy conditions will continue for your east facing shores. That east swell will continue to drop for your tomorrow. Throughout Wednesday, and a moderate southwesterly swell is expected to arrive for the tail end of the week. We do have low tide this morning at 9:14 at -0.3, and high tide this afternoon at 4:40, just over 2 feet. So pretty impressive wave heights there, and even so for your east facing or your eastern half of the state. A small craft advisory is in place. We do have our wind speeds 15 to 25 knots and seas 5 to 8 feet. And taking a look at your hourly forecast, partly cloudy conditions will continue for today. The weather will let up. We will get pockets of sunshine. We are actually gearing up for some wet weather on the way for your Wednesday. But for today, from Maui County throughout Hawaii Island, especially for Kailua Kona, mostly clear skies. Isolated showers rolling in for Hilo later on tonight. Now, here's a look at your traffic. We do have road closures in Kaneohe today on Kahikili Highway northbound. This is from Kahuhipa Street through Hui'iwa Street. That's from 8:30 to 3 o'clock for today. Other than that, your windward commute is looking nice. We do also have a road closure this morning. This is all due to a downed pole, so Hawaiian Electric is helping restore power to 61 customers in Pupukea and Waimea areas. So Pupukea Road is closed for now through Alapio Road. We'll continue to monitor that, but for now, Tom, over to you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tasia. Well, this morning, President Donald Trump kicking off a state tour to the UK, getting the royal treatment while making headlines even before he touched down on British soil. Anna Stewart has the latest from London.
President Trump arriving in London ahead of his first state visit to the United Kingdom. His 3-day trip, coinciding with commemorations for the 75th anniversary of D-Day, will likely be marked by plenty of politics, pomp and protests. On Monday, the President and First Lady are scheduled to have lunch with Queen Elizabeth and Prince Harry, and later lay a wreath at the grave of the unknown warrior, before attending a state dinner at Buckingham Palace. On Tuesday, Trump will meet with Prime Minister Theresa May and will attend D-Day events on Wednesday. The President's trip coming amid political turbulence over the UK's exit from the European Union. May is slated to step down as the leader of the Conservative Party on Friday. Her successor not yet decided. Over the weekend, President Trump expressing his support for former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson for the position in an interview with British tabloid The Sun.
I may meet with him. He's been a friend of mine. He's been very nice. I have a very good relationship with him.
In an interview with the Sunday Times, Trump criticised May for her handling of Brexit negotiations. Trump and the Prime Minister are expected to discuss an array of topics, including foreign policy, security and trade. Meanwhile, protests are expected across London, mirroring last year's large demonstrations. In London, I'm Anna Stewart reporting.
And meanwhile, back here at home, Vice President Mike Pence is speaking out against the president's impeachment. A growing number of congressional Democrats are calling for those proceedings to begin, arguing that the special counsel investigation proved that Trump committed impeachable offenses. But Pence says Congress has no reason for proceedings, and the issues former FBI Director Robert Mueller investigated are, quote, entirely over. And one of Trump's top economic advisors is preparing to step down. Kevin Hassett, the chairman of the White House's Council of Economic Advisors, will be leaving his position soon. President Trump making that announcement official with a tweet last night calling Hassett a true friend. No word yet on when his last day will be or who his successor will be. But President Trump says he'll be naming a replacement after he gets back from his trip to the UK. Well, still ahead on Good Morning Hawaii Early Edition, a startling health alert for women, why one form of birth control is causing some serious problems. We'll explain after the break. Stay with us.
Here, catch.
Reminds me of my old football days.
You played football, Uncle Miano?
Really, Kaylee? I was all-WAC defensive back at UH, and I played 11 years in the NFL.
Alexa, is Rich Miano in the Hall of Fame?
Alexa, turn on my Fujitsu AC.
Operate your Fujitsu with Alexa.
No worries, Uncle. I still love you.
I love my Fujitsu.
Our airport service is my ka-ilua. Imua, ihopin to and from your heart. Our big on discount service is for sure. Hainai amai kapuana ea. Kawaii kaholo in the cab. We take you to and from the airport with big discount. Go dial 4222222 the cab.
For 50 years, Cracker Barrel has been cooking home-style favorites to perfection. We thought we'd celebrate by making our golden anniversary extra golden. Introducing new crispy, juicy 7 fried chicken. Now at Cracker Barrel.
You know, you don't need to wait on the sun to say good morning, Hawaii.
Lots of people are up before dawn, and we are too.
Join Good Morning Hawaii weekdays at 4:30 in the morning to get an early start on everything you need for your day.
In 1859, King Kamehameha IV and Queen Emma were inspired to build a hospital for the sick. Today, Queens has expanded to meet the growing needs of Hawaii, offering comprehensive heart care, advanced neurological services, a world-renowned cancer center, and Hawaii's only Level 1 trauma center. Caring for our community, the royal legacy continues. The Queens Medical Center, celebrating 160 years.
The Queens Medical Center, Hawaii's healthcare leader for 160 years.
This is Good Morning Hawaii.
Welcome back. Time now 4:44 on your early morning health watch. An 18-year-old high school student who had a stroke says it was caused by a pill, one that 2/3 of all women between 15 and 49 years old have taken some form of. Stephanie Bufamonti has the story.
Cudahy High School senior and athlete Hannah Drummond was in gym class when she just didn't feel right.
And all of a sudden, just the left side of my body just went tingly, went numb.
Drummond went to the hospital and learned she had a stroke.
It was actually scary. I knew it knowing I was so young, being like, I'm 18, this is happening to me.
Now she's sharing what caused the scariest moment of her life, birth control pills. But at the hospital, Drummond also learned she has a hole in her heart.
They said that the birth control that I was taking, the estrogen in it caused a blood clot, which must have slipped through the hole and up to my brain.
Drummond is not alone.
Woke up with my arm asleep and I couldn't talk.
This woman from Maine also had a stroke when she was a teen. Her doctors believed it was caused by her birth control. Birth control pills can put your health at risk. Loyola University Medical Center found that for healthy women who are taking birth control and aren't at risk for a stroke, the likeliness of birth control causing one is small. But for those who do have stroke risk factors, there's a significant increase, and some doctors recommend not taking the pill. Drummond is now hoping her story can help other young women.
Most definitely don't be scared of birth control just because of what happened. Find the one that works for you, and also listen to your body. If you don't feel something is right, like say something, tell someone.
Yeah, good advice there. That was Stephanie Bufamonti reporting. Hannah says part of her vision is still impaired, but she is expecting to make a full recovery. Well, turning now to other news, one of 7 patients who contracted Legionnaire's disease after being treated at a new Ohio hospital has died. Officials say right now it's too soon to confirm the final cause of death, and the identity of that victim has not yet been released due to privacy laws. People contract Legionnaire's disease when they breathe in mist or small droplets of water in the air that contain the bacteria, according to the Centers for Disease Control. But the hospital says they're taking major steps to fix the problem.
They've stopped all water flow at the hospital. It's being chlorinated as we speak. There is no ice in the hospital. There's bottled water everywhere. And there are detailed interventions going on to protect people.
Now, the risk of developing the disease is low, but people with chronic underlying medical conditions are at increased risk. Well, Purdue Foods is recalling more than 31,000 pounds of ready-to-eat chicken products because they may be contaminated with pieces of bone material. The fully cooked chicken items were produced on March 21st, and they were shipped to stores across the U.S. To see the labels of those recalled products, you can visit the Department of Agriculture and Food and Safety Inspection Services website. The agency is also urging consumers to throw that product away or return it to the store that they bought it at. All right, well, now you're taking a live look through our Hilo Hawaiian Hotel cam. Look, pretty rainy out there over on the Big Island, Tasia.
That's right. Showers definitely for our windward areas, and it's even stronger the stronger our trade winds get. Coming in from the east today, 15 to 20 miles per hour, breezy conditions that will last for majority of your week. We're continuing to see those showers and cooler conditions as well. Again, riding along those trade winds, we do have that small craft advisory in place from our Hawaii Island all the way throughout Maui County. Throughout the day, our conditions actually will let up just a bit, improving conditions throughout your midday, especially with our Kauai mostly sunny, just starting off with those trade showers, just like how we saw in Hilo, mainly for the eastern half of our island. Kapa'a coming in at 85, 86 for Poipu, and our west side coming in at 87. The leeward coast for Oahu, temperatures in the upper 80s, and Kapolei coming in at 90 degrees. Kahuku at 82 and Waimanalo at 84 with a bit of higher humidity levels due to the added moisture. Partly cloudy conditions will continue, especially for those windward sides from Oahu and Maui County. Maui County is actually expected to be a bit breezier throughout the day. Temperature highs in the lower 90s from Kahului down to Makena. 81 for Lanai and 87 for Ho'olehua. And over for our Hawaii Island, southwesterly winds will continue for Kailua Kona with our mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in the 88s, 84 for Hilo, Hawaii with those partly cloudy conditions and passing rains. Again, surf is still looking good, especially for your east-facing shores. 3 to 6 today, 1 to 3 for the south, flat to 2 for the north and west. We've got high tide at 4:40 later on this afternoon. Now here's a look at your traffic. Again, for the North Shore over on Oahu, Pupuakea Road is closed through Alapio Road. This is due to a down pole. We do have Hawaiian Electric crews helping to restore power there. Clean up that down pole. Again, over 60 customers are affected. A few scattered showers coming in from Ewa Beach, clearing up nicely. We do have actually clear conditions on the freeway as you are making your way through Kunia and the Waikele area. Actually very clear all the way throughout the zipper lane from Waiawa throughout the H1, H2 merge and our Waimalu exits. Ka'ahumanu looking clear. East Side Drive is light and dry. Paliconch flow expected to open up within 15 minutes, but the Likelike and H3 are moving along quite well. Tom, over to you.
Thanks, Tasia. Well, a trio of new movies hitting theaters this weekend, and one of them topped the box office charts. For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's Christopher Watson.
This is Godzilla's world. We just live in it.
It was also Godzilla's weekend at the box office. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, debuted in first as expected, but with a less than expected $49 million or so. Overseas numbers were also softer than predicted. The Elton John biopic Rocket Man opened in third with an estimated $25 million, both in line with pre-release tracking.
How does it feel to be on the outside looking in?
The thriller Mob out in fourth. Russian censors, by the way, apparently deleted scenes of drug use and gay sex from Rocket Man, as well as a final shot of Elton John and his husband, David Furnish. That prompted a protest letter from John and the filmmakers. The 32-year-old New Jersey house that served as the home for Tony Soprano and family on HBO's The Sopranos is for sale. Yours for $3.4 million. Is Apple getting rid of iTunes? Bloomberg reports that announcement could come today at Apple's annual developer conference. And Mott the Hoople frontman Ian Hunter is 80 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Christopher Watson, ABC News.
Well, cosmetic retailer Sephora will be closing all of its locations on Wednesday for diversity training. The move comes after R&B singer SZA accused a Sephora location in California of racial profiling back in April. The singer alleges security was called on her because a staff member thought that she was stealing. Sephora says the diversity training includes stores as well as their distribution center and their corporate office. Well, still ahead on Good Morning Hawaii Early Edition, we've got another look at your Monday morning weather and traffic. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Ready for your next adventure? Let JTV USA give you exclusive access to the best travel packages for Kama'aina for all types of travel.
flight, hotels, and tours. Custom packages to fit any of your travel needs. Official travel agency of the UH Athletics Department. Join us for the UH Rainbow Football Tour. Stop by our Ala Moana office and just tell us where you want to go. We'll handle the rest. JTB USA. Perfect moments, always.
Is your Sears battery dead or dying and warranty expiring? Don't worry, we got you. Lex Brody's will honor Sears battery warranties and service all Sears bought tires for free. Combining over 55 years of award-winning experience on Oahu with world-class customer service, Lex Brody's makes your car care experience easy. Need a fix forever brake repair warranty? Need a free Uber ride to the mall? Need answers and solutions to your automotive needs? We got you. Please visit lexbrodys.com for details, and thank you very much.
St. Francis Healthcare System is creating something new and exciting, the St. Francis Kupuna Village in Liliha. The former hospital campus is being transformed into a health and wellness community for seniors and their caregivers, featuring a skilled nursing facility and an array of physicians in different specialties, with future plans for assisted living and independent living and a senior community center. Call today for more information. St. Francis Healthcare System, creating healthy communities for Hawaii's families.
Meet Kimo. After last night's storm, he's not feeling any aloha. His old jealousies leaked water everywhere. But today, he replaced them with Palmer louvers from his local hardware store. Kimo liked them for their tight sealing, full ventilation, ease of operation, and durability. So now Kimo is full of aloha again. Mahalo, Palmer.
No major accidents or stalls reported within the last 2 hours, but we still have this road closure up on the North Shore. Pupukea Road closed due to a down pole. We do have no electricity for about 60 customers in that area. So Pupukea Place through Alapio Road is closed. We'll continue to monitor that. Other than that, we are taking a look at clear conditions. Zipper Lane not open just yet through Waikele, but it is open through our Waikele area all the way through Waiava. Not much needed because Waikele is actually moving along quite nicely this morning. We actually have some minor congestion through Koloawaka, clearing up as you do make your way through Renton. Your East Side Drive is looking light and dry coming in from the windward side. Polycontra expected to open within the next 10 minutes. And your town spots is still looking clear through Middle, Dillingham, and Nimitz. Now here is a look at your weather. For today, we do have intense trade showers rolling in on the windward sides from Oahu throughout Hawaii Island. That will continue to be on and off throughout the day. Partly cloudy conditions for the windward side. An uptick of showers more so for your morning and evening time. Today, breezy conditions from the east, about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Some areas up to 25. Partly cloudy throughout the day, mostly sunny for the leeward sides. We'll continue to get this weather pattern for the next few days. And also, we do have a small craft advisory in place for Maui County throughout Hawaii Island. Surf for the east will be choppy because of our winds, but 3 to 6 for the east facing shores, south 1 to 3, flat to 2 for the north and west. Highs in the upper 80s. We'll continue to have even an uptick of showers for your Wednesday and Thursday across the state, so we'll continue to monitor that. But pretty comfortable conditions for the remaining of the week. We've got those trade winds lasting all the way throughout the weekend. And again, we are in hurricane season, expecting 5 to 8 on the radar, so we'll continue to track that and check out if anything is happening in the Pacific. Other than that, Tom, over to you.
All right, thanks. Tasia, time now 4:56. Here's what we're working on for you in the next half hour. Coming to the 5, we've been seeing a lot of accidents on the water lately in Hawaii as summer heats up. The city of Honolulu and the Red Cross now teaming up to keep you safe. They'll be joining us live in studio with some safety tips you need to know about.
As friends and families remember the 12 victims of the Virginia Beach shooting, authorities continue their search for a motive and what we're learning about the timeline. I'm ABC's Serena Marshall with the details coming up.
And the public getting a chance to weigh in on protecting a piece of nature many Native Hawaiians consider to be sacred. Good Morning Hawaii at 5 is coming your way right after the break. Stay with us.
Experience the bold, crispy, mouth-watering flavors Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen is serving up in each and every bite, providing closed captioning for KITV 4 Island News.
When you've been in an accident, the last thing you need to worry about is where to get your car repaired. So look no further than the top of the list and try